Yes.
to the same.
There's a few differences tomorrow, just to make it a little bit more yiskery, but yes, it's like 80% the same brush.
Okay, so you won't be offended when people leave to go here?
Adam? No, I'm actually going to make that announcement before I speak.
Oh, okay.
So if people are going to be outside with me tomorrow, they can not hear me today. And then hear me tomorrow. Yeah.
Anything else good?
Yeah, it's good. I really like this dress.
I was just telling Autumn I bought it for Sherry, my daughter.
Oh, I love it.
Ilya's going to have her bat mitzvah, Ilya.
I know, I just saw that. I just can't believe how, I mean, I can't believe how old any of them are, but like she was a little fisher. That's amazing. It's really amazing.
Grow up. Not just
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? They're allowed to do that.
She's doing the same brush as I did tomorrow, but they're
Either of us need this at any point, so I think I'm just going to move it.
What is it?
The standing thing for people who are shorter than us.
I actually use that the whole time.
Yeah.
God mercy, everybody too. It's Darshan, you know Shir Yaakov Fight?
Yes. I mean, not like super well, but yes.
So you'll catch on.
Great.
And then you'll do it.
Sounds good.
That.
He's going to come and tell me something. Hopefully no one's
I
dead.
actually think he's going to come tell me something.
Maybe. Hi, Rachel. All right. I like that just by standing here and putting my towels on, people are getting quiet.
Yeah.
Gemar Chatima Tova, everyone. Gemar Chatima Tova. Hopefully the microphone over there will at some point work, but I'll come over here to wish you all a good Yantif. We're going to get started in just a moment. For those of you who don't already have a talit on, if you would like to have a talit on, there are some by the entrance to the sanctuary. This is the one night a year that we wear a talit. And it's because we see this day as Yama Arichta. We see this as a very long day. Some people say that the rabbis of yore used to stay in the synagogue the entire time, from the beginning of Kol Nidre until the end of Ne'ilah. And so it's seen as just this very long period of time together. And so if you would like to wear talit, if you've never worn a talit before, or if you would like to wear one even if it's not your typical custom in the morning, you are more than welcome to do so. And we're going to begin as the ark is open on page 203. Please rise. Sorry, 204, not 203. Oh, it's good. Yeah, you can put it in front of the micro. Yeah, there. You can open it. Thank you.
Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrei Lev Simcha Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrei Lev Simcha Ay 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 Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrei Lev Simcha Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrei Lev Simcha Ay ay ay
In a moment, I'm going to have 3 people take out the Torahs from the ark. We're going to have 9 people over the course of the next few moments up here to take out these Torahs. In Jewish tradition, whenever there is a court present, a Beit Din, sometimes that's for conversion, sometimes that's for divorce, sometimes that's for other types of transactional moments that you need jurisdiction, that you need there to be some kind of court system. There are always 3 witnesses. There are always 3 people present. And so as we are about to say Kol Nidre, in the presence of God, we create a court with 3 Torahs that we bring out of the ark to be able to form that moment of being in a court system, of having this moment of justice in front of God. So I chose 9 people. There could have been many more up here. The first 3 are people who have been instrumental in attending or being part of classes that I have taught. The second 3 are people who have helped me in my transition team for the past now going on 4 years. And the last 3 are people who are tried and true to the Beiteinu community and who I wanted to uplift in this moment. So I'll ask Marshall and Hannah and Bonnie to go forward and take a Torah. The one all the way on the left is the heaviest. And Rabbi Wachowski will continue for us on page 204 at the bottom.
בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל אנו מתרים להתפלל עם העבריינים בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל אנו מתרים להתפלל עם העבריינים בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל אנו מתרים להתפלל עם העבריינים. כל נדרי ויסרי וחרמי וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי ושבועות דין דרנה ודשתבנה ודאחרים נא ודעצרנה על נפשתנה מיום כיפורים זה עד יום הכיפורים הבא עלינו לטובה. כולהון יכרתנה בהון, כולהון יהון אשרן שביטין ותהילין ומבוטלין לשרירין ולקיימין נדרנה la nidre ושבועתנה לשבועות.
We'll invite up Larry Brayman as the Torahs are passed to Mike Cohn, Jackie Jacobs, and Cindy. Cindy Levy.
Kol Nidre V'yesarei V'charamei V'konamei V'chinuyei V'kinusei U'shavut.
Din darna udehishtabana udiacharimna bedasana al nafshatana.
Yom Kippurim zeh ad Yom Kippurim haba aleinu letova.
Kulhon nicharat navhon, kulhon yahon sharan, shavikin, shavitin, Beiteinu mevutalin, Lasheririn Velakayamin. Nidrana la Nidre Vesarana la Esarei Matana la Shavuot.
Call up Harris, Larry Miller, and Sarah Pottybaum.
Kol Nidre V'yesarei V'charamei V'konamei V'chinuyei V'ki Arna Udishtabana Udeacharimna Videasarena Alenafshatana Miyom Kippurim Ad Yom Kippurim Haba Aleinu Letova Kulahon Icherat Nabehon Kulahon Yehon Sheran Shevikin Shevitin Vitelinu Mevutalin Lasheririn Velakayamin Nidrana La Nidre Esarana La Esare Ushuatana La Shevuot V'nislach lechol adat b'nei Yisrael v'lager agar betocham ki lechol ham bishkagat V'nislach lechol adat b'nei Yisrael v'lager agar betocham ki lechol ham bishkagat V'nislach lechol adat b'nei Yisrael v'lager agar betocham ki lechol ham bishkagat Slach na levon amazeh kegodel chatztecha וכאשר נסעת לעם הזה ממצרים ביד הנה ושם נאמר ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדבריך Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
As we put the Torahs away and the ark is closed, you may be seated. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
just a few pieces of logistics before I begin. Rabbi Kligfeld and I typically give sermons on Kol Nidre and also at Yisker that are the same sermon, and we swap places. But this year we also named the places based off of the people who were leading, not on the location. So if you are someone, and I'm going to take no offense to this, by the way, if you are someone who is going to be with me and Rabbi Wachowski tomorrow on the field, you are about to hear the sermon that I will also be giving tomorrow before Yisker. If that's exciting to you, awesome. If that's not as exciting to you and you would like to hear Rabbi Kligfeld speak, you can go outside and hear him speak probably in the next few minutes. We all started at 6:15. So if you want to hear his sermon, please feel free to do so. And then if you would like to stay and listen, feel free to be in this room with me and make your choices tomorrow based off of if you really like this sermon and you want to hear it again, or if you want to come inside tomorrow and hear Rabbi Kligfeld. The other thing I just want to acknowledge while people are deciding whether or not to get up and move or not is that this is the first year that I've noticed that I really wish there was a Psuke de Zimra before Kol Nidre. You jump right in, right? You hit the ground and you're running. On a regular Saturday morning or even Kabbalat Shabbat into Mariv, you have a warm-up period. You have a period to be able to settle in your seat, to take a few deep breaths, to sing a few really nice tunes, and then you get going. And as the rabbi, I'm usually speaking like 2.5 hours in, not 10 minutes in. And it feels like a jolt to our system. But maybe that's what it's supposed to be. Maybe we're supposed to really hit this day, hit the ground running on this day, and be able to jump right in. So if you just need to take a few deep breaths, and you just need to ground yourself in this moment, we just experienced Kol Nidre. You won't experience it again until next year. And just take that in. Take what it means in to hear those tunes, to hear those notes, to be in this space, to be present in this moment. In a world of constant noise, even when it is quiet, it is hard to be fully present. We have news alerts, social media dings, text message beeps, email blasts, traffic honking, city symphony playing, etc. It's exhausting. And it seems that with every new technological advancement, there is a flurry of new notifications with the illusion of urgency and importance. Every day we are challenged by myriad distractions that make it harder and harder to be present. Are we ever fully present today? We are a generation that thrives in documentation through photographs and video. Why? Because moments after a moment has occurred, we can replay it, relive it, re-feel it. We can bring the past into our present. We fill our homes with pictures of happy times, exotic vacations, smiling faces who no longer walk our earth. We keep social media applications that flood our knowledge of a person with what we see in a photograph. We share images of our life to express a certain blip of time, hoping for a moment of our past to entice someone to, quote, like it in the present and validate the moment. We also take certain videos and photos just for us or just for a certain group of people, recognizing the world does not need to see into each moment of life lived, but rather we are able to go back and glimpse at a moment that we know was just special, just for us. We bring our past along with us in our wallet, in our phones, on the walls of our home to influence the moments of our present that need reminders of love, joy, beauty, adventure, life lived. On July 11th, 2022, the world was shocked by a technological event. The James Webb Space Telescope had made history that day by releasing its debut photos, jewel-strewn images that have been touted as our deepest yet look at the universe. I woke up from a nap after an early morning flight and walked into the living room to hear, "It's hard to believe what we're seeing." A photograph that shows us today what our universe looked like 13.5 billion years ago. A photograph that changes the meaning of being fully present to include new ideas about being present in our past. At this moment on Earth, I was standing in a living room and looking at a photograph that showed me the universe at the beginning of time. Awesome. And who cares? The beginning of time was billions of years ago. And even if we can see what the stars looked like, it's not a photograph that shows me the Garden of Eden or Noah's flood. Does this new discovery mean that sentient beings millions of light years away from us and millions of years into the future could be looking at you and me right now, here on Earth? No, I'm not trying to sell you on a sci-fi film, but more poignantly, could they be looking at my great-grandparents, alive and well in the 1970s? It's a disorienting discovery that you and I are living at the same time as beings past or future. Can I be living fully present in my past or fully present in my future? Is it healthy to live in those memories? Is it wise for us to recall past experiences and history? Shouldn't we strive to be more present and soak in the moments of now? In an article written in the Washington Post on August 21st that was titled, "When Looking Back Helps Us Move Forward," writer Daryl Austin quotes Erica Hepper from the University of Surrey in England saying, "Far from keeping people living in the past, nostalgia can be a powerful resource both for coping with difficult times and for propelling us positively into the future. Nostalgia is part of the fabric of everyday life." I remember very clearly as a child when my dad went away to Hawaii for a gig. He was going to be gone for a few days, but to a young child, that feels like forever. My mom gave me a vial of his cologne that was empty, but it still smelled like him. I was able to carry it around with me, and when I missed him, I could smell the empty bottle and feel like he was here. Or at least be comforted with the memories of him being near me that would hold me until his return. We are not yet able to see our ancient ancestors with any kind of technology, nor do I think that my uncle, my grandmother, my great-grandparents are able to see me now. For one thing, our distances of time and space are not nearly great enough to facilitate that. But I can believe that seeing current images of a past means there are possibilities of time bending we haven't dreamed of yet. Every Friday night, we interrupt time until Saturday night when we resume with Havdalah, a literal ritual of distinction back into time. We create a sanctuary in time, as Heschel put it, to be present, to cease from creation, to appreciate who we are right now and not worry about what is to come. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. And yet, in order to appreciate the present, must we acknowledge our past? We begin this sanctuary in time with Kiddush, a prayer over wine that in its explanation is all about creation. Yom hashishi vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chotzevam vayachal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishpot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa. God made the seventh day holy, distinct from the other 6 days, uplifted and different because of the boundaries around time. And yet, a few lines later, we're brought back into memory of leaving Egypt because without that moment, we would not be in this one. So even on a day where we are supposed to be most present, most centered in the here and now, we are whooshed back into a scene of our freedom from ages ago. Looking into a telescope to see a sea parting and our ancestors leaving to allow us this moment in a room of electricity and organic wine made in your city of choice and bought in one of the hundreds of grocery stores that you could pick from. Choosing to be present and intentional with one foot firmly rooted always in our history. We have this unfortunate phrase in our society that often emerges when talking about someone who is going through grief. How will they move on? Move on? What does it mean to move on from someone you love, from memories you created, from homes you built, from lives you curated? How do you move on from something, someone that helped you define who you are? We don't move on. We move forward. I listened to a beautiful and heart-wrenching and hysterical TED Talk by Nora McInerney, where she talks about tragedy, specifically the tragedy of losing her husband, though she mentions losing a pregnancy and her father's death as well. She talks about people asking if she can move on as if, quote, those were just moments that you can leave behind and probably should. She admits that when talking about her husband, she slips into the present tense because the people we love are still present for us. He's indelible, so he's present for me, she says. We move forward, we do not move on. We use memories to uplift our steps into the future, realizing that our present is baked with ingredients from the past. Chadesh yameinu kekedem. Renew our days of old. A phrase that we sing each time we put our Torah away and a central theme of Tisha B'Av. Move forward by looking backwards. Renew your future by acknowledging your roots. Rabbi Robert Scheinberg says, it means renew our lives as you renewed our lives after we were exiled from the Garden of Eden. Chadesh yameinu kekedem is then not a plea for restoration of a formerly perfect condition, but rather it is a plea for resilience, a plea for the ability to renew ourselves after future crises and dislocations, just as our lives have been renewed before. As Elie Wiesel said, God gave Adam a secret, and that secret was not how to begin, but how to begin again. We begin again by acknowledging that our past, our nostalgia for what was, is going to push us forward. We need to smell that cologne, to sing those tunes, to retell those stories to move forward, not to move on. In the Midrash Tanchuma, it expounds on the word Bereshit to mean that God created the world through beginningness. The Midrash goes on to quote Proverbs, which says, Hashem bechokma yasad aretz, God with wisdom founded the earth. Meaning just like our souls, which are created from something that came before us, God consulted the Torah before creating the world. Obviously, if we read our Torah as a linear text, that makes no sense. However, our rabbis are trying to explain that our world was created with foundational knowledge and baggage from our stories, our ancestors, and the nostalgia we would feel living in the present creation. For example, when our people are leaving the desert and they're complaining about all that they had to leave behind in slavery in order to reach this new land as a new people, the rabbis commented that based on their nostalgia, they were scared. And they wanted to go back to what was comfortable and known, even if what was in front of them was better and special. In this case, the nostalgia obscured their ability to see the future ahead of them, rather than inspire us to take on this new adventure. The world is now able to see into the past, to look back as if in a time machine as to what our universe looked like at the beginning. We're now able to imagine that maybe, just maybe, our past truly does keep up with us. We could always feel it, but now we can see it. The stars that the telescope reveals may actually be long dead today, but as their ancient light makes the lengthy journey across the universe, The Webb telescope treats our mortal eyes to a one-of-a-kind time travel display. We can now realize what the broken tablets that we carried through the wilderness taught us. We're always living with the past influencing us. We are always living with the past seeing us. We are living, and those we remember and those we miss who maybe we never met are seeing us. Genealogy is a hobby for some and became a passion for many during COVID. My friend and colleague, Rabbi Scott Kalmakoff, taught a session at Beth Am at the beginning of the pandemic that may have been one of the most influential sessions we have ever taught as part of the Rembam Institute. Scott walked us through how to find ancestors and how to easily connect to your past as a way of better understanding your future. I knew my dad would be interested in this and connected the two of them. So Scott took down some information from my dad about our family members and looked up material that we never knew existed, and of course, some that we did know resurfaced. Scott asked my dad and I to join him on a Zoom call one day and showed us pictures and lists of names of ancestors I didn't know I had. One picture was of a house in Brooklyn, very close to where my brother now lives. It was the home where my grandmother had lived, and with her now gone, my brother could go and visit her childhood home and bring a piece of her back to him. Another artifact was that I might be the first Rabbi Rebecca Schatz, but I am the second Rebecca Schatz in our family tree. One reason this is so interesting is because Rebecca was the name of my great-grandmother on my mother's side. So my father's side was not even known to be a connection to that piece of my name. I became emotional watching my dad get so excited with knowing this information. His eyes widen, his past becoming a major part of his present. And more than anything, his mom, my Grandma Rini, who died 18 years ago, was very much brought back to life in her history being uncovered. Genealogy allows us to live even more deeply in this moment by understanding who came before us to gift us with our life now. I'll be honest, in this time of reflection and confession, being fully present in the here and now is very difficult for me. I work at being present for others, but in my own life, I am often 5 steps ahead or ruminating in the past. On a trip, I'm planning the next one. I'm making a meal, I'm planning how those leftovers are going to be used for the next week. It's a goal of mine to be more present this year, to recognize that the moment you are in is the most important moment of life. The Dalai Lama said there are only 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday, and the other is called tomorrow. Today is the right day to love, to believe, to do, and mostly to live. And that is my charge for myself this year, to be present in each of my moments, because if I am so busy planning the future, I'll miss out on what's happening right now. Hineni, here I am right now, grateful for how I got here, who allowed me to be me in this moment and for the experiences, challenges, triumphs, and trials that life has thrown my way to arrive here right now as this version of myself. Nostalgia might offer a more positive and constructive way of connecting with our past rather than ruminating on negative emotions and experiences. Nostalgia allows us to reflect on treasured, even triumphant moments of love and joy. Nostalgia becomes fertile ground for healthy potentiality. Looking through the Webb telescope, it might be that our future and our past are catching glimpses of this present moment. However, what is even more evocative is the way that we feel when remembering the past while living our moments fully present. We are not supposed to move on from moments that have created our identity. We are not supposed to move on from experiences that have shaped future experiences for the better. We are supposed to move forward. Just like the Webb telescope, we are to be the light that connects our past to the present and ultimately the future. We are to move forward, living fully present, rooted deeply in our past. Gamar Chatima Tova. I'll ask you to please rise, page 207 for the Baruchu.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Evaed.
You may be seated.
Baruch Adonai Melech Haolam. Umavir yom umevi laila mavdil ben yom umein laila Adonai tzvot shemo El chai v'kayam tamidim lach aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Ay 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 Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu v'hem negei yomam v'layla v'avatecha tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ay 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Evaed V'yavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך לים
Adonai Elohim Emet Emet Yemunah. Umalchuto beratzon kiblu alehem Moshe uMiriam u'bnei Yisrael lechanu shira v'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Ra'uvanecha b'okayam lifnei Moshe Ze'eli anu ve'amiru Adonai imlach le'olam eved V'ne'emar kifar Adonai et Yaakov u'gialom yad chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Gal Yisrael.
Ashkivenu Adonai leinu shalom.
Ashkivenu Yes, yes, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ay, 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 ve'al Yerushalayim.
Page 212, we rise in anticipation of Chatzi Kaddish. We pick up at the second paragraph on that page.
Ki bayom hazeh yechaper alechem letaher etchem mikol chatotechem lifnei Adonai titaru yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbi ve'alama dirach kirutei ve'yamelich malachutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael b'gala u'v'zman kari v'veimeru Amen. Yeshmei Rabba mevorach leolam le'almei omayah yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei nekudesha b'richu Leila, Leila, Mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ve'alma v'yimeru. Amen.
Rabbi Daniel Silverstein wrote in a post this last week, the writing in the books on Rosh Hashanah is the thoughts in our head. In our Talmud, the section of Rosh Hashanah, we hear a story of Rabbi Kruspedai saying in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, 3 books are opened on Rosh Hashanah, one of totally evil people, one of completely righteous people, and one that includes people with both good and bad deeds, Beinonim. The completely righteous individuals are written and sealed in the book of life. The totally wicked individuals are written and sealed in that other book. The sentence for the individuals with both good and bad deeds is suspended from Rosh Hashanah until Yom Kippur. If they merit, they are inscribed for life. If they do not merit, they are inscribed for death. The Baal Shem Tov comments, all of the thoughts falling on a person on Rosh Hashanah are the writing in the books, whether for good or for bad. The evil thoughts need to be sweetened through battling our evil impulse, which is bringing these thoughts down on us, through awakening our free choice. We are about to recite the whispered Amidah, our first opportunity of the next 25 hours to recite the Vidui, the confessional prayer. Whether you believe in these books or not, each of us have the ability to write our story. On Rosh Hashanah, we are inscribing who we are and who we want to be and who we have been. Now on Yom Kippur, let us read what we have written and edit it to be realistic, to be fair, and to be kind to ourselves in our evolving into this year to come. We write these books for ourselves. Write yourself into life by recalling the stories that have allowed you to live. Page 213, the whispered Amidah. If you have not yet finished your private Amidah, please continue. This tune that Rabbi Warshawski and I debuted last year is a tune by cantor Meir Finkelstein. It's a tune that, as a young child, I sang with my dad, and then as an older child, but started as a young child. And one thing that I did not mention to Rabbi Warshawski, but just dawned on me while I was davening, is many of you know that Rabbi Warshawski and his wife just had a baby girl. She's very cute. He has pictures to show you if you would like to see them. And it's hard to leave home. And it's hard to not be with a brand new baby and with your wife and with your new family. And we're so lucky to have you here, but it's hard. And I know that it's hard. And I just hope that, like I am now able to bring things to the Bima that came from moments of me and my father being able to sing together on the holidays, that whether or not Jonah Liba has a beautiful voice, that she will have moments that she's able to bring into her high holiday experiences because she got to experience them with you. And thank you for allowing me to bring a little piece of my family into the high holidays with you.
Ya'ale tachanunenu merev ve'yavo shavatenu miboker ve'yerahe rinunenu adarev ya'ale kolenu merev ve'yavo sitkatenu miboker ve'yerahe pidyonenu adarev
Yaleinu yenu
Inu yenu merev ve'yavo slichatenu miboker
ve'yerae nakatenu adarev Yale, 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 yale minusenu merev ve'yavo lemano miboker ve'yerae kippurenu ad arev ve'yerae kippurenu ad arev ya'ale ishenu merev ve'yavo torenu miboker ve'yerae chinunenu adarev ya'ale zichronenu merev ve'yavo v'yudenu miboker ve'yerae hadratenu adarev Yale
Dovkeinu Me'er Ve'avogileinu miboker
Ve'yira'eh bakashateinu ad arev.
Ya'aleh
Ya'aleh
Ya'aleh Ein kateinu me'erev Ve'yavo Eilecha miboker Ve'yira'eh Eloheinu ad ha'arev Ve'yira'eh Eloheinu ad ha'arev.
Page 224.
Shema shomea tefila adecha kol basar yavo kol basar leishtachavot lefanecha Adonai yavo veishtachavot lefanecha Adonai vichabdu lishmecha lechu niranen al Adonai nariya litzur yisheinu nekadma fanav betoda bizmirot nariya lo asher lo haya mehu asal v'yabeshet yadav yatzaru asher be'ado nefesh kol chai ve'ruach kol besar ish. Hayya dai 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 dai. Hayya dai 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 dai. Hada dai 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 dai. Hada dai 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 dai. Hayya dai 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 hada dai dai dai. Hada dai 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 dai. Hayya dai 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 dai. Hada dai 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 dai. Hayya dai 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 dai. Hada dai 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 dai. Hayya dai 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 dai. Hada dai 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 dai. Hayya dai dai dai. Ve'achokma me'ayin timatzeh. Ve'ze makom bina. Ve'achokma me'ayin timatzeh. Ve'ze makom bina. Ve'ze makom bina. En yirat Adonai hi chokhma. Vesor merabina. En yirat Adonai hi chokhma. Vesor merabina. Yana dai 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 dai. Hana dai 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 dai. Hana dai 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 dai. Hai di da ba dai dai dai. Yana dai 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 dai. Hai dai 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 dai. Hana dai 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 dai. Hai di da ba da da.
Top page 225.
הנשמה לך והגוף פועלך חוסה חוסה Malach Haneshama Ve'aguf Po'alach Chusa Malach Haneshama Malach Ve'aguf Shelach Adonai Aseh Leman Shemecha Atanu al Shimcha Adonai Aseh Leman Shemecha Bavor Kevod Shimcha Ki Chanun Rachum Shemecha Leman Shimcha Adonai V'salachta le'avoneinu Ki Ravahu Darkecha Eloheinu leharicha pecha l'ra'im ve'latovim ve'hitei
We repeat.
latecha.
Derachecha Eloheinu leharicha pecha l'ra'im ve'latovim ve'hitei latecha.
Lemancha Eloheinu aseh v'lo lanu re'eh amidateinu dalim ve'reikim.
Lemancha Eloheinu aseh v'lo lanu re'eh amidateinu dalim ve'rakim.
Tale arucha le'aleini dafti nachem alafar be'efer.
Ta'ale arucha le'aleni dafti nachem afar va'efer.
Tashlich hatainu v'tachon b'maasecha terekieni shasei imanu tzedaka.
Tashlich hatainu v'tachon b'maasecha terekieni ish asei imanu tzedaka. Page 226, we begin in the middle of the page at the arrow.
Tavor al pesha v'timcha Hashem ki yom v'datzev imo sham. Tazin shavatin v'tachiv menu mamar kayom v'yikra b'shem Adonai. V'yavor Adonai al panav v'yikra.
Please rise.
Adonai, Adonai, Rachum v'chanun, Erech apayim, v'rav chesed v'emet, notzer chesed la'alafim, notzer avon v'afesha, v'chata Salachta le'avoneinu lechatatenu u'lechatanu Slach lanu avinu ki chatanu mechalanu malakenu ki fashanu ki ata Adonai tov v'salach V'rav chesed, l'chol korecha.
You may be seated, page 227.
Ki hine kach omer, v'yad hayotzer, birtzoto marchiv, Virtzoto mekatzer, ken anachnu beyadecha, chesed notzer, labrit habet, ve'aletefen la'yetzer, yananai nai nai nai, yananai na 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 na. Yai nai nai nai, yai nai nai nai, yai nai nai nai, yai nai nai ananai, yai nai 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 nai. Ki hine ka'even biyad amesated, birtzoto ochez, ברצותו המחטט. כן אנחנו בידך, נחיה וממוטט לברית הבית, ועל תפן ליצר, כי הנה כגרזן בידך רש. ברצותו דיבק לאור וברצותו פרש. כן אנחנו בידך, תומך אני ורש לברית הבית, ועל תפן ליצר. כי הנה כהגה ביד המלאך, ברצותו אוחז, וברצותו השילח. כן אנחנו בידך, אל טוב וסלח לברית הבית, ועל תפן ליצר.
This piyut is one that talks about being clay in the hand of a potter or being formed in some artistic way in the hands of God. I'm about to call up our president, Mark Samuel, and though he would be the first to tell me to not compare him to God, there is something about leadership that we also recognize in this piyut. That those who work with leaders recognize that we do put our lives, our creativity, our leadership in the hands of those who allow us to lead and who support us in our leading. So I thought this was an appropriate place in the middle of our davening to hear from the leader of our community, someone who has just started in this role but has already made such big moves in order to make us feel as though the work we are doing is valued, to make sure that we know that what we are doing is exciting and that we should keep doing it. And that if it hasn't already been mentioned, that Mark has been talking to each of the bar and bat mitzvah families after their bar and bat mitzvah to remind them that shul is not just about that one moment, but to come back and to be part of our community. And that little phone call has made all the difference. So in the short few months that you've been in this role, we've already seen tremendous ways in which you can form and you can mold and you can help us grow. And so I now invite you up to the bima to share with us some of your thoughts. Mark Samuel.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Rabbi Schatz. Adon Olam Asher Ma'ala. Are you wondering if services are over this evening? That would be the greatest president's address to Temple Beth Am. But we are not finished with services this evening. We have just begun. In fact, tonight, let us focus on beginnings, as our theme for the new year is back to basics. First, we're back together again, truly and completely back in this magnificent space. I want to ask you to take a look around you, not at just the building, and as the former chair of the building committee, I am legally required to kvel about our project. But I want you to say hello to your neighbor. Maybe you may be sitting next to someone you've been sitting next to for the past hour, the past year, the past 5 years, 10 years, or more. Maybe you haven't seen your fellow members since the pandemic began. Or perhaps you haven't met them before. Shake their hand, give them a wave, a fist pump, a hug, if they're so inclined to do so. Go ahead, I will wait. I can wait a little longer too. This is our community, our family, and we are returning back to normalcy. Right here, being together in Temple Beth Am is the bedrock of our institution. There are many people who makes this community work. That includes our rabbis, our educators, our administrators, our security staff, our board members, staff members, volunteers, facilities, and more. And for those who are rejoining us in the Gansberg Sanctuary for some time away, we want to welcome you. And we want to remind us all of the richness of what the temple offers. There is something for everyone, and during this year of getting back to basics, which is also Rabbi Rebecca Schatz's theme for the programming department that she has been hard at work at, I want to encourage you to do something you love. At the same time, I hope you will try something new. I will share that new thing that I wanted to try, which was attending Slichot, the services of forgiveness that we say on the Saturday night right before Rosh Hashanah. Despite always wanting to go, I've never done it, and this was the year for me. It was truly inspiring to watch the dressings of the Torah switch from the daily Torah covers to the white holiday ones. Seeing this physical transition of the Torah dressings was my transition into the Hagim. I am hoping to add some new activities as well, and I will be inspired to dig even deeper into the Jewish tradition and make something like Slichot my new basic. The menus of activities we offer here is incredible. There are, of course, high holiday services, along with our Friday night and Shabbat services, our morning minyanim, our educational classes, and more. This year we will grow and we will expand these offerings, which includes theme monthly Friday night Shabbat dinners like the BYOB Shabbat dinner. And a couple of weeks ago, Let Us Cook for You. We had almost 300 people at each event. I do want to give a special shout out to the library minyan who's celebrating their 50th anniversary. It's our lay-led minyan. It's been a national model for large congregations like ours. A minyan is a great model of how Judaism is community-based, that we need 10 people to pray publicly. At the same time, each of us counts in making that number. A moment of public thanks and gratitude to Michael Harris, who is there every morning and every night to make sure that we have daily minyan. I know that many of you in this room make a daily or frequent commitment. You motivate me to come to minyan more, and I plan it will become a new basic for me too. This impact of individual action is acutely felt when we do acts of chesed or kindness, whether it's by coming to minyan to help someone say Kaddish, or just by showing up to Shiva. I want to encourage you all to make a commitment this year to come to minyan a few times more. I promise your presence will make a difference. This year, we will continue our sisterhood groups and events. Our sisterhood is stronger than ever and has programs for all ages, from walking and book clubs, mahjong, and more. This year, we will bring back our robust men's society, and I'm hoping to have a poker night too. We will include our cooking, grilling, baking, even have a sports group. Fortunately, this year, Yom Kippur does not fall while the Dodgers are in the playoffs, although the Dodgers are playing tonight. No president's speech. Can't talk about baseball. We will dive deeper into the Chavarah programs, bringing together small cohorts of families and individuals to have more intimate social and ritual events. We have a vibrant social action committee and have a number of events planned, some in partnership with 1LA. We will learn together in greater numbers through adult education classes, including Rabbi Rambam's Basics of Jewish Life. As you already have heard, later on this month, we will have the inaugural Dr. Baruch Link's Scholar in Residence Weekend, featuring writer Dorit Rabinian, I hope I pronounced it correctly, who Tablet magazine called the Wonder Woman of the new Israeli literature. We will make a trip to the Baltics, and there are a few spaces still available to go on a yoga meditation retreat with Rabbi Kligfeld in Guatemala. Rabbi Matt Shapiro has been working hard with our YLE, our Youth Learning and Engagement, to ensure that families feel connected to and inspired by our community. We are creating a spiritual Shabbat experiences where children pray with their parents, and for those exhausted parents out there, even more meaningful childcare opportunities. I do want our Pressman school families to know there's more than just membership, that there's programming for every age group, from when you have a baby or when that baby goes off to college or leaves home. I do want to take a brief moment to acknowledge the incredible work of our executive director, Cheryl Goldman. I'm not sure if she's in here this evening, whose responsibilities touch on so many different aspects of our synagogue. She is involved in every part of our temple and our community and makes sure that our programs happen seamlessly without interruption. Her presence is felt throughout the organization. A special thank you to all of the greeters, the staff members, volunteers who've worked tirelessly on the programs for High Holidays. We are truly grateful. As for membership, we are increasing and we have met our goal. We are increasing 1 million at a time. Keeping our community safe is a top priority for me and in the institution. We recently had an active shooter drill, and we have frequent meetings with our security task force, ensuring that we are doing everything to keep our community safe. We appreciate Ralph. There's Ralph.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Right on cue.
And his entire team. I do want to acknowledge the lay leadership. That includes our board, and as we welcome 6 new board members, our VPs, our past presidents, who do so much work behind the scenes to support our staff and ensure the long-term planning. We are in very good hands. Under the leadership of the visionary Dr. Erica Rothblum, our head of school of Pressman Academy, she creates a warm, nurturing environment where our children and students are thriving while becoming mensches. Our enrollment is strong. We have 494 students from our ECC through the 8th grade, and our achievements are many. On the academic side, our Moot Beit Din won 1st, 2nd, and 4th place in the Southern California regional competition, and 98% of our graduating class of 2022 was admitted to their first choice high school. We finished phase 2 of the Pressman Garden over the summer, and we're looking forward to students learning in the garden while studying and integrating science and Judaic studies. This year, we are also building a sensory room and experience for our ECC students to honor our extraordinary teachers who have done so much to support and educate our children during this difficult time. We are launching Pressman Academies, professional development for our day school staff, where educators can choose a year-long focus for professional development. We are, God willing, sending our entire middle school to Israel this December. We have tickets for 103 students, 13 staff, and Rabbi Kligfeld is leading the parent delegation at that time. Back to yoga. For those who like to get down on the mat, know that setting an intention for yoga practice is key, and Judaism believes that that's the same thing. And during the Hagim, we're asked to set our intentions for the year. So I want to spend a couple of minutes offering my intentions, the beginnings, and I want to make happen on the projects on which I help to collaborate with everyone here. A first and a very much a top priority is the long-delayed building of our Pressman Academy Middle School. Simply put, we are bursting at its seams. Our middle school students need more, they deserve more space to grow. The future of learning I outlined before cannot happen without this growth. Our new school building will include a multi-purpose room to be used from everything from davening to serving meals, proper assembly space, a watering hole, classrooms and labs, and yes, Dr. Rothblum, it's a dream to have a slide in the building. Overall, the upgraded school will be more amenable to project-based learning and have a feel of openness. We will be having another capital campaign, and we will be calling you to support our students to make these dreams a reality. We will need your help, but this is our investment in our children's future for generations to come, and I hope that all of you will stand with us. As part of our growth, we will be developing our properties on Corning 7 and 8, either through partnership of an organization or by building a multifamily apartment building. Whatever we end up, this will generate some additional cash flow for our institution. Though we may not see the immediate benefits, our goals are sustainability in the long term. And this project will help offset potential dues increases and tuition increases. Another beginning related to buildings is our shift to more environmentally sustainable power. To do that, we will install solar panels in the beginning of next year. We will bring in EV, electric vehicle chargers, and explore more energy efficient models with our green team and facilities. On top of what I've said about the incredible work of Dr. Rothblum, Rabbi Matt, and Rabbi Schatz, I want to acknowledge the multi-dimensional talents and leadership of Rabbi Cantor Hillary Chorney, who inspires this congregation with her beautiful davening as she leads the B'nai Mitzvah programs, ensuring our Bar Bat Mitzvah students are well prepared and well versed in Torah, and connecting more broadly with our young students on their Jewish journey. Rabbi Cantor Cherney will help us host the National Cantors Assembly here at Temple Beth Am in November, with a concert celebrating the 75th anniversary. It's a big honor. Yasher Koach. Of course, Rabbi Kligfeld's, whose grace and mastery and wisdom have been vibrant and central growth to Temple Beth Am. Rabbi Kligfeld's raw talents, relational rabbinical style on the pulpit is a true gift to our community. It is my privilege this evening here to announce during his bar mitzvah year that we will be honoring Rabbi Kligfeld at our spring gala in May. I do want to conclude with two personal short reflections. This Thursday, in 2 days, I am going to be flying back to Hawaii to race an Ironman race. This is actually going to be my 18th Ironman race, my high Ironman, and actually my 5th time in Hawaii. I mention this race because it's a metaphor for how I think of leadership, how we can push ourselves individually, collectively, to be our best selves. Reaching our potential is not a sprint, but a marathon, and sometimes a swim and a bike ride too. Much of racing the experience is acknowledging the mistakes and weaknesses, and then recalibrating and making corrections as the journey continues. In this way, the race is also a metaphor of the spiritual work we're doing during these high holidays. We know we will make mistakes this year, but we will keep moving forward, not allowing ourselves to give up. I want to end with a brief story this evening about taking risks and trying something new that turned out okay. Years ago, I was asked by a Jewish organization I deeply respected if I wanted to host an event in our backyard and to make a few opening remarks. I hadn't really done the work. didn't set an intention for what I hoped for. My remarks were all over the place. I was flustered and disorganized. I couldn't put a sentence together. I never wanted to make a speech again. Still, I thought of the origin of this story when I felt so vulnerable out in public in conjunction with these high holidays. For the last couple of years, coming together in public has been a risk. And we felt vulnerable being out in the world. I see the high holiday prayers a different way now, with their emphasis on impermanence and being vulnerable before God. We set out our spiritual intentions before each other, God, and ourselves. I do want to take a moment to recall the life of my father-in-law, Howard Pilch of blessed memory, who was dear to me and loved by our community. I am saddened he couldn't be here this evening to hear my words to all of you. In fact, I'm wearing his tallis and wearing his tie. I know that he be kvelling, and I do feel his presence in this space. When Howard was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, he only had days to live. I asked him if we could raise money for medical research for pancreatic cancer. His response was, "Let's raise money in honor of me, not in my memory." His intention and his inspiration, perhaps it's my daily inspiration, was and is, we should live in the present, think of our future, not dwell in our past. Let us remember Howard and all those who we've lost and honor their lives by working towards the future they would have wanted. As we begin this new year together, let us live together and enjoy the rebirth of our community. I promise to all of you to serve this community in Howard's honor and to honor the many others who've provided this rich history to Temple Beth Am and our community. Jessica and I want to wish you an easy fast. Gemar Chatima Tova.
Gemar Chatima Tova. Shakoach, Mark. We're going to turn now to page 231. As Rabbi Warshawski potentially introduces us to a tune that he wrote that many of you have probably heard, but we have not yet sung in this space.
Thanks, Mark. That was beautiful. We're going to continue with these words, Ya'anayim Tzacha, that are on the bottom of the page. They're a poem by Yehuda Halevi. And the words are really a poem about a relationship. It's a love relationship with God. And I just wanted to just take one moment to just think about tshuva for a second. The word tshuva, when we think about it, we often translate it as repentance, but really it means return. And if we're thinking about return, there must mean that there's something that we're returning to. And I think it's all sort of epitomized by the chorus of this song, which is those last four lines at the bottom. This beautiful, beautiful sentiment from Yehuda Halevi. He says, Darashti kirvatcha bechol libi kiraticha uvtzeiti likratcha likrati mitzaticha. I sought your nearness. I called out to you with my heart. And when I went out looking for you, I found you already coming towards me. That's the kind of relationship we want to be in, right? When I go out searching for you, you're already there looking for me too. And sometimes if you go out looking, but you're just stuck in your head, you can't open your eyes and see that the other person and the other partner in the relationship is already coming towards you as well. So repentance, tshuva, return can't only be about what's happening inside. It has to be also about what's happening in the world around you and looking out and seeing the relationship reverberated back towards you as well. So we're going to sing these words, and I hope over the course of our Yom Kippur together, we'll find ways to sing out and then also find ways to listen as an answer reverberates back to us in whatever form that takes for you. It starts with Ya'anayim Tzacha at the bottom of page 231. Ya'anayim Tzacha מלא עולם. דרשתי קרבתך בכל ליבי, קראתיך וצאתי לקראתך, לקראתי מצאתיך. דרשתי קרבתך בכל ליבי, קראתיך וצאתי לקראתך, לקראתי מצאתיך.
We turn now to Shema Kolenu on page 233. As the ark is open, please rise.
Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus v'rachem aleinu, v'kabel b'rachamim ratzon et tfilateinu. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus v'rachem aleinu, ratzon et tfilateinu. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu kekedem.
Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu kekedem.
Al tashlichenu milfanecha, v'ruach kodshecha al tikach mimeni.
Al tashlichenu milfanecha, v'ruach kodshecha al tikach mimenu.
Al tashlichenu leitzigna, kichlot kochenu al tazveinu.
Al tashlichenu leitzikna, kichlot kochenu al tazveinu. Al tazveinu
Al tazveinu. Elohim, ki lecha Adonai yochanu atatane, Adonai Eloheinu.
You may be seated as the ark is closed.
Eloheinu levateinu adonai, karveinu letoratacha, ולמען שמך הגדול, תמחה ותסלח לעווננו, קרקעתי ודברי קודשך, למען שמך אדוני, וסלחת לעווני, כי רע והוא. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו, כי אנו עמך ואתה אלוהינו, אנו בניך ואתה אבינו, אנו עבדיך ואתה אדוננו, אנו קהלך ואתה חלקנו, אנו נחלתך ואתה גורלנו, אנו צונך ואתה רוענו, אנו חרמך ואתה נוטרנו, אנו פעולתך ואתה יוצרנו, אנו רעייתך ואתה דודנו, אנו סגולתך ואתה קרובנו, אנו עמך ואתה מלכנו, אנו ממירך ואתה ממירנו. אנו עזי פנים ואתה רחום וחנון, אנו קשי עורף ואתה ירח אפיים, אנו מלא עוון ואתה מלא רחמים, אנו ימינו כצל עובר ואתה ושנותיך לא יתמו. Eloheinu levoteinu, tavo levanachat vilatenu, ve'atidele mitchinatenu. She'ena nachnu azefani mukshir aflomar lefanacha, Adonai Eloheinu leavoteinu, tzadikim anachnu v'lo chatanu, aval anachnu ve'avoteinu chatanu.
Please rise.
Ay, 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 Hashamnu, Vaganu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi, ay, 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 Hevinu, Vehirshanu, Zanu, Chamasnu, Tafalnu Sheker. Ay, 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 Yatsnu, Kizavnu, Latsnu, Maradnu, Yatsnu, Sararnu, Avinu, Pashanu, Sararnu, Kishinu, Orev. Rashanu, Shichatnu, Tiavnu, Tainu, Titanu. Sarnu mitzotacha mishpatacha tovim lo shabalanu ve'ata tzedika kol aleinu ki emet asita ve'anachnu hirshanu.
You may be seated. We will read in English on the bottom of page 236, the letter He. You know the mysteries of the universe, the deepest secrets of everyone alive. You probe our innermost depths. You examine our thoughts and feelings. Nothing escapes you. Nothing is secret from you. Therefore, may it be your will, our God and God of our ancestors, to forgive us for all our sins, to pardon us for all our iniquities, and to grant us atonement for all our transgressions. Please rise, page 237.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha be'onas u'ratzon. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha be'mutza lev. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha Al chet shechatanu lefanecha be'yetzera, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha be'yodim ve'lo yodim, ve'al kulam elo aselichot, selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chashen v'chazal, al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chavat shochan, al chet shechatanu Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'einayim ramot, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'azut metzach, ve'al kulam elo aselichot, selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu. Al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'brikato, ve'al chet shechatanu lefanecha b'tzidut, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בתשומת יד, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בתימון לבב, ועל כולם אלו הסליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו.
You may be seated. In a moment, we're going to sing on page 240, so you can turn ahead. We all have those friends who are superb at keeping in touch. And we all have those people in our lives for whom communication is harder than participating in a triathlon or learning a new instrument proficiently or speaking English. In this next piyut, we remind God that communication was easy with all of our ancestors. So please remember those skills and use them with us. Notice our daily activities, answer our calls, hear our plea, engage us in conversation. Only then do we know that not only do you, God, matter to us, but we are cared about, heard and supported by you. We know you answered our ancestors in moments of calamity, increased celebration, or utter loss. But all we are now asking, all I am asking, is just regular communication. The mundane moments, the unexpected moments. Just check in. We're waiting for you to draw close. We are already here, awaiting your call. Page 240, Misha Anna.
Sarah Imenu Beziknata Huyanenu Misheana LeAvraham Avinu Behar HaMoriah Huyanenu Misheana LeYitzchak Benam Sheneakar BeMizbeach Huyanenu Misheana LeRivka Beheyona Huyanenu Misheana LeYaakov Bevitel Huyanenu Misheana LeLea Beonia Huyanenu Misheana LeRachel Beitzvona Huyanenu Misheana LeYosef Bevet HaSurim Huyanenu Misheana LeMeadot HaIvriot Al HaAvanim Huyanenu Misheana LeYochevet Al Sfat HaYeor Huyanenu Misheana LeAvoteinu LeImotenu Aliyah Mesub Huyanenu Misheana LeYochevet
משענה למשה בחורב הוא יעננו משענה למרים בבירה הוא יעננו אוי משענה לאהרון במחתה הוא יעננו אוי משענה לפנחס בקומו מתוך העדה הוא יעננו אוי משענה לבנו צלופחד בן דן בפתח המועד הוא יעננו משענה לכל הצדיקים והצדיקות והחסידים והחסידות והתמימים והתמימות והישרים והישרות והרחמנים והרחמניות הוא יעננו ay 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 nay 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 tiram nay 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 tiram nay 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 nay
We rise as the ark is open, page 243 for Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu Lefanecha Avinu Malkeinu Ein Lana Melech Ela Ata Avinu Malkeinu Asenu Malach Shachaz Vata Machshavot Zaneinu Avinu Malkeinu Achazirenu B'tshuva Shlema Lefanecha
Avinu Malkeinu Achazirenu B'tshuva Shlema Lefanecha
Avinu Malkeinu Shlach Refuah Shlema L'cholei Amecha
Avinu Malkeinu Shlach Refuah Shlema L'cholei Amecha
Avinu Malkeinu Zochrenu B'zikaron Tov Lefanecha
Avinu Malkeinu Zochrenu B'zikaron Tov Lefanecha
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Geula V'Yeshua
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Geula V'Yeshua
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Parnasa V'Chalkala
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Parnasa V'Chalkala
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Zechuyot
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Zechuyot
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Slicha U'Mechila
Avinu Malkeinu Kotvenu B'Sefer Slicha U'Mechila
Avinu Malkeinu Atzmach Lanu Shava Karov
Avinu Malkeinu Orim Keren Yisrael Lemecha
Avinu Malkeinu Selaman B'Vesh Avinu Malkeinu Aseh Lemancha Im Lo Lemanenu Avinu Malkeinu Chonenu Vaneinu Avinu Malkeinu Chonenu Vaneinu Ki Eina Banu Masim Aseh Imanu Tzedaka v'chesed Aseh imanu Tzedaka v'chesed ve'oshienu Yai-rai-rai-rai-rai-rai-rai
Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshiyenu, Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshiyenu.
We remain standing though the ark is closed, page 245, Kaddish Shalem.
Yitgada v'yitgada shemei Rabbi.
Amen.
V'alama divrach kirutei v'yamelech malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael v'gala uvizman kariv v'yimeru Yeshmei Rabba mevorach leolam leolam yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesh hashemei dekudesh habrichu leila leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alama ve'emeru titgabal tzeloton uvoton echol Yisrael kadam avuhon adivishmaya ve'emeru 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 Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'ale kol Yisrael v'yimeru 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 Oseh shalom b'meromav Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael
Page 246.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol latzeit gedula leotzei reshit shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo samu chelkeinu karem vegor aleinu kechol amonam v'anachnu korim משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה השמיים ויוצר הארץ. Al כן נקווה לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות נהי רבי תפארת עוזך להעביר גילולים מן הארץ והאלילים קראתי כרתון לתקן עולם ומלכות שדי וכל בני בשר יכרו בשמך להבנות אליך כל רישי הארץ יכירו וידעו כל יושבי תבל כי לך תקרא כל ברך תשבע כל לשון לפניך אדוני אלוהינו יכרו ויפולו ולכבוד שמך יקייתנו ויקבלו כולם את מלכותך ותמלוך עליהם מעלי עולם ועד כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולמי עד תמלוך בכבוד ככתוב בתורתך אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We turn to page 248 for the psalm for the season. We'll join together about 7, 8 lines from the top to sing Achat Sha'alti. Achat Sha'alti met Adonai ota vakesh. Achat Sha'alti met Adonai ota vakesh. Shivti bebeit Adonai kol yemei chayai lachazot benoam benoam Adonai ulevaker beheichalo lachazot benoam benoam Adonai ulevaker beheichalo. Kiss penani v'suka b'yom ra'is turni b'seter l'alav tzarachani. Lech amar libi b'shavadai panai chananai avakesh al taster panechem mimeni al taster. Lulehem atil rapetu Adonai beretz chayim kave el Adonai chazak vayametz libecha vekave el Adonai. Mourner's Kaddish, page 247. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei Rabbi be'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kari ve'imru amen yehei shmei Rabbi mevarach le'olam lomei almaya yit barach ve'yishtabach ve'yit pa'ar ve'yit ramam ve'yit naseh V'yit hadar, v'yit alev, v'yit halal, shemei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'ela, le'ela, mikol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Again, Gemar Chatima Tova. Just a few quick announcements. Services tomorrow begin at 9 a.m. Remember how I said that we needed Psukei de Zimra tonight? Well, you can get Psukei de Zimra tomorrow at 9 a.m. All of the clergy will be leading together on the field at 9. If you are not someone who is typically here for Psukei de Zimra, just know that you're missing out on some of the most beautiful tunes by getting here after Psukei de Zimra. You can leave whenever you want, but get here at 9 and hear some beautiful tunes. 9:45 with a big-ish, we'll begin Shacharit in here with Rabbi Kligfeld and Cantor Chorny. Rabbi Warshawski and I will stay on the field following that Psukei de Zimra that you'll all be at, and we'll begin Shacharit as soon as we can right after that. Library Minyan will also be starting at 9 a.m. They will not be joining us for Psukei de Zimra, so they begin at 9 a.m. with Psukei. And you can see the rest of the schedules on signs all over the building. Clergy will come together to do a musical hamalot, which if you don't know what that is, come and find me. I'm not going to explain right this second. At 4:45, and then Ne'ilah is all together on the field. Library meeting will be doing their own traditional mincha, which will include the reading of Jonah at 4:40, followed by Ne'ilah in the gym. Shofar blowing will be at 7:15 and no later. And then Sukkot comes, but if you're interested in Sukkot, read some emails and find out about that afterwards. The last thing I want to say, and this is very important to me, even though you might roll your eyes, this is not a holiday about fasting. It really isn't. Fasting is a means to the end. It is a way in which our rabbis believed for us to be able to focus, a way for us to be able to center in on ourselves. If that's not how your body works, you heard it here first. Focus on the day. Focus on what the meaning of this day is. Why do we stand? Why do we prostrate ourselves? Why do we beat our hearts on Yom Kippur? It's not because we're fasting. We're supposed to be fasting so that we can do all those things with intentionality. But if you are someone who needs to eat, or you are someone who needs to drink for medical reasons, please do so. We would rather have you healthy and participating and focused than we would have you fasting. So please focus in on the day, focus in on the reason we are coming together to be here in this moment of Yom Kippur. And if you are fasting, may it be easy for you. And if you are not, may this be an incredible holiday of focus, of an introspection outside of the fact that you may be eating or drinking. We're going to conclude with Yigdal on page 250. Rabbi Wachowski is going to pick the tune. Gemar Chatima Tova. See you all tomorrow.
יתעלה אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא בעיני אל מציאותו אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף לא נערוך אליו קדושתו קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו הינו אדון עולם בכל נוצר יורא גדולתו ומלכותו שפן נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו לא קם מישראל שעוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו תורת אמת נתן לעמו על יד יביאו נאמן ביתו לא יכל לפאר ולא ימיר דתו לעולמים לזולתו סופר ויודע סתרנו מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו גומר לאיש חסד כמפעלו נותן לרשע רע כרישתו ישלח לגץ ימין משיחנו לפדות מחקקת ישועתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך הדעה שם תהילתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך הדעה שם תהילתו
Laila Tov.
Tov.